How's it going, guys? Cody, we're back again. We're dropping yet another video. Guys, the time is like 23 minutes past 2. Monday morning. I'm tired, so if I'm not on form, I apologize. I've had a few days off, as you guys know, a few downtime and stuff. People, whenever I don't post for a few days, people are like, oh, Cody, you're back in prison, you're not well. I'm good, I'm fine. So this video is another paedophile. I've decided with the channel, I'm going to start lighting paedophiles up. They don't like it, as we've seen with Sebastian Cosmin Bonta, another paedophile in a town where I used to live in Denton, another paedophile. I'm going to read the story, link in the description below. Headline reads, father caught with indecent images of children on his phone claimed he was trying to track down paedophiles. Oh, you can smell the bullshit, can't you? Danny Smith, 45, appeared before Minchell Street Crown Court. A father caught with indecent images of children on his phone claimed he was trying to track down paedophiles. Police searched 45-year-old Danny Smith's home after receiving intelligence from the National Crime Agency. Minchell Street Crown Court heard that when police arrived at his house in May of 2018, he pulled one officer to one side and said he knew why they were there. Pulling them to one side because he probably don't want his missus and his kids to know. He said that he'd been online trying to track down pedos and they had contacted paedophile hunter groups on Twitter. Smith, the mechanic, had his mobile phone seized and it found to contain almost 100 indecent images of children. Investigators found 6 Category A images, the most serious type, with 18 Category B and 73 Category C pictures. The majority of images were featuring children aged from 10 to 12, the court heard. Police also found a chat log from a website where Smith said he had an interest in schoolgirls in uniform. They also found he had accessed a Russian website known for hosting indecent images of children. In an interview with police, Smith said he had a hatred of indecent images. He said he worked on Twitter to help find missing people and that he stumbled upon a link to a chat room. Smith said he had contacted a journalist asking them to investigate a chat room which contained unpleasant conversations. The court heard how the journalist advised Smith to report it to the police. Prosecutors said that Smith had contacted the journalist before the indecent images were found on his phone were created. In another interview, he told police he had been trying to track down and trap paedophiles. Smith of Elizabeth Street, Denton, pleaded guilty to 3 counts of making indecent images of children. Defending, Amanda Johnson said Smith is remorseful. He has had to move out of his family home because of his arrest, probably because there's children in place. She said Smith lost his job, having previously worked at a car dealership as a mechanic. Miss Johnson said Smith has been able to find short-term work and there was no suggestion of any repeat offending since his arrest. Judge Angela Neal sentenced Smith to a 2-year community order, including 20-day rehabilitation activity requirement days and 200 hours of unpaid work. He must sign the sex offenders register for 5 years. Now, can you see the web of lies upon the story itself? Apparently, he clicked on a link, and then he clicked on this link, and then he's contacted the journalist, and then he's trying to track him down, right? And then he put, it's just absolute rubbish, right? For those that don't know, right, a lot of people don't know this, right? For a short time, I was a paedophile hunter. I started last year. I did 11 stings. I was security on the stings. I was part of a great team, and let me tell you straight off the bat, paedophile hunting teams do not go on to child abuse image websites. They don't share links. They mass report if they find a thing on any social media platform, they mass report it. They do not share it. They do not click on links, right? They certainly do not download indecent images of children. But like I said, this is all irrelevant. This man's a paedophile. Danny Smith, a 45-year-old, could be a father, right? Hopefully his wife's left him and everything else, his life's in tatters, right? He's a paedophile. He said he had, so he clicked on a link, then he reported it to a journalist, then he downloaded images, then he said that he had an interest in girls in school uniforms, then he accessed this Russian website. So accessed the Russian website, downloaded images, contacted a journalist. By contacting the journalist, guys, if that is true and correct, he wouldn't have been contacting the journalist to do that. What he would have been doing is covering his own tracks in case he got caught. That's exactly what he's done. Depraved paedophile. The one thing that I'm absolutely raging about, one indecent image of children is too much. This guy had category A, category B, and category C. Right, category A is the worst. Right, one image is bad enough. 100. Does he go to prison? No. People go to prison for various things, from murder, armed robbery, GBH, rape, non-payment of parking fines. It's been known. Non-payment of council tax, jailed for not paying council tax. No physical victim. This depraved paedophile, 200 hours, he got on activity days and a community order, right? And signed the sex offender register for 5 years. Is that a punishment? What message does that send to any potential paedophiles out there that are accessing these images round the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Does it send a sign that the courts they throw the book at paedophiles? Or does it show they're extremely lenient when it comes to paedophiles? Right, this judge that sentenced him, right? We know that there's paedophile rings in government, in the police, government, police, royal family, Prince Andrew, the judges, the police, the BBC. We know that paedophile rings exist. We're not supposed to talk about it because shh. But like I've said, depraved paedophile, lost his job. Good. This guy has no right. He's had to move out of his family home, hopefully, because his missus. Social services will be involved if he has got kids, depending on the age of those children, obviously, if they're under the age of 16. Hopefully his wife. The thing is, the thing is, how can that be? How has the judge swallowed that as a fact? The story contradicts itself. I can see that. I've not got a GCSE to my name. I've been a paedophile hunter. And like I've said, paedophile hunters do not share... they do not download images because you're breaking the law and it's a criminal offence, right? They do not click on links. They do not share links, right? And trying to track down pedos. I like girls in school uniforms. I clicked on this link. I reported it to a journalist. I downloaded images. You're a fucking out-and-out liar, right? You're a highly dangerous paedophile. I don't care any paedophile, anyone that's got a sexual interest in children, right? It does not go away. These people, right, this guy's not been even sent to prison. No deterrent at all. When it comes to how can people go to prison for cultivating cannabis or fucking non-payment of parking fines, non-payment of council tax, minor fucking things, right? And then this guy, right, by downloading indecent images of children, child abuse images, right, you're fueling the demand. If you take away the demand, the supply dries up, right? Whether that's drugs, obviously drug dealers selling X amount of drugs. If the demand goes, the supply goes, right? So by this fucking depraved paedophile, Danny Smith of Denton, right? By downloading these images, you're fueling the abuse worldwide. And the fact is, the reason that I became a paedophile hunter, the reason that I blow up paedophiles on my channel now is because I was sexually abused by someone that lived local to my mum and my stepdad. And the damage it does is lifelong, right? A lot of people that have suffered abuse, sexual, physical, emotional, but we're talking about sexual here, they can't form emotional attachments with anything. They have struggle at forming bonds or relationships. They self-harm, they substance abuse, drugs, alcohol, things like that. They become addicts, self-harm, severe mental health, personality disorders, suicide attempts, and sadly and tragically, suicides. It's a very real situation, and I'm absolutely annoyed and disgusted that they've not seemed to send him down. It's just, the mind boggles, right? They are, for me, the compliant and complicit with when paedophiles, they almost feel sorry for them, because if they didn't feel sorry for them, they would judge them. This was a woman, Judge Neald, right? Why hasn't she thrown the book at him? She must have kids or grandkids herself, or is she a paedophile herself? Because I tell you what, you wouldn't, you really wouldn't, knowing the innocent, there's no word for me, rape, child abuse, and murdering of kids and things like that are the worst things ever. But paedophiles, he will have been getting his rocks off to them abuse images that he downloaded. And do you know what the sad thing is? Don't be surprised if this man goes on to re-offend. Because the truth is, you can't rehabilitate a sex offender, right? It's a sexual attraction. It's a mental illness, in my opinion, right? It's disgusting. They should all be, we should bring back capital punishment for these people. The only way you can cure a paedophile, bullet to the back of the brain, right? Or a 1 foot rope off a 6 foot drop. You cannot rehabilitate them. They are disgusting. They are depraved. And like I've said, the way that the internet is, a paedophile can be in your child's bedroom, not physically, through a phone, right? In the current climate with online apps and things like that, and obviously this is different to this, but I'm saying the way that the world is, a paedophile, sexual predator, can be in your children's home, in your children's bedroom, in their devices, without physically being there. Right? Like I said, this guy has downloaded images and images and images, tried to cover his tracks by contacting a journalist, probably thinking, if I do get caught, I'll contact this journalist first to say this. I've got the record there, so I'll use that to go back and say, well, you weren't tracking down paedophiles. Like I said, if that was the case, if paedophile hunters, this man wasn't a paedophile hunter, I just want to make that point. And he discredits, I don't do paedophile hunting anymore, but he discredits all paedophile hunters by saying that if paedophile hunters took this line, right, they would all be in prison. Well, they wouldn't be in prison, they'd probably get a slap on the wrist like this dickhead. But like I said, he wasn't a paedophile hunter. He was throwing out lines left, right and centre to try and cover his tracks. The fact is, he's got a sexual interest in children. I hope he's not allowed to see his children unsupervised. I hope his missus walked away from him. I hope his whole life has turned on its head, because he deserves to be spat at in the street in every chance. Right? Disgusting scumbags, vile individuals. And the damage it does to the victims is lifelong. And that doesn't matter if these kids were in Russia, China, Cambodia, Vietnam, South America, Spain. It doesn't matter. A child is a child. Who looks at children the age between, he downloaded images for children between the age of 10 and 12. Who the fuck looks at a child under the age of 16, because that's what they are, and looks and thinks, oh, sexual attraction? 10-year-old children. It's this 10 to 12. It's disgusting. A baby's a baby, a kid's a kid, right? And these depraved, disgusting fucking paedophiles, right? And the court's just like it's nothing. Like he's been shoplifting or something. Absolutely raging, guys. Disgusting individual. Danny Smith, Denton. Gonna leave it there, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Link in the description. Let me know what you think about this depraved paedophile. A nonce is a nonce. Cody out.